So I'm starting off with priming my face with the Too Faced Hangover X primer, and then I will mist myself with the Smashbox primer water. I just wanted to have my face really dewy and fresh. I'm using the Lorac Eye Primer to prime my eye, and then now I'm taking the MAC Painterly Paint Pot in Soft Ochre, and this is just to neutralize the base on my eye. I'm taking from the Kat Von D Metal Matte Palette the shade Bone to set the primer, and then going in with the MorpheXKathleen Lights palette. I'm taking this. It's probably going to be hard to explain because these don't have any names on the shades, so it is just I think the lightest brown on the palette. With the Kat Von D Metal Matte palette, I'm taking the shade Moss all over my lid. I definitely wanted to play with green. Green is one of my favorite colors. I think it definitely complements brown eyes. I'm just taking this fluffy crease brush and just blending out any harsh lines, making sure that the crease color blends in with that green shade. Now I'm just going and intensifying that green. Want to make sure that the green is as opaque as I'd like it to be. Once I'm happy with the opaqueness of that shade, I'm going in with that MorpheXKathleen Lights palette, and I'm taking the brightest shade in there, which is that bright green shimmery shade, and applying that over the green that the darker green that I had applied initially. Using this little detailed brush, I am taking the shade Moss again and just deepening it on the outer corner and blending it out into the crease. And then again, I'm going back and intensifying that green. I just want to make sure that it's all blended and opaque. And then using that same crease brush with no product, I'm just making sure that the edges are blended out. Now I'm going to finish the rest of my face. I'm going to apply this foundation stick by Anastasia in the shade Honey, and I'm applying it all over my face. And this brush is just one that I got in a set from Amazon, and I've never tested out the real Tarteist. I think it's called the brushes, the original ones. Never tried those out, but this one's the only one I've had, and I actually like it, and I think it's pretty soft. And it does a good job in blending everything out. Now I'm taking the It Cosmetics Illuminating Concealer, and I'm just applying that right underneath the under eye, where it would be a little more darker, and then taking the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and I think it's a light medium if I'm not mistaken. The shade is, yes, light medium, and I'm just using that to highlight the rest of my face. Now I'm taking the foundation stick in the shade Almond, which is a tad bit darker, and I am using this to contour my face. Again, using that same brush that I used before, I'm going to blend all that out. I'm taking this new little mini miracle sponges from Real Techniques, and I am blending out that concealer under the eye and the rest of my face. Using that same sponge, it has a flat side to it. I'm applying the translucent powder, and this is the RCMA translucent powder. Now to set the rest of my face, I'm taking the BH Studio Pro setting powder in shade 245 and then just tapping that powder onto my face. Now I'm going to take MAC Skin Mineralizer and Give Me Sun, and I'm going to apply this around my face just to bronze it up. And I'm taking the Tarteist Pro Glow palette and I'm taking the shade called Sculpt and carving out those cheekbones and around my nose too. And I'm just taking out the excess powder, the baking under the eye. Taking the Tarteist Pro Glow palette, I'm taking all 4 shades, mixing them all up to give me the highlight. Taking that sponge again, all I'm doing is just blending out the edges from the highlight so that there isn't any harsh lines. Taking it to the bridge of my nose and the tip of my nose and the Cupid's bow. Now I'm going to finish up under the eye, and I'm going to take the Kat Von D Metal Matte palette, and I am taking the shade Flash, which is like a gold bronzy shade all over the lower lash line. To darken the outer corner, I'm taking the 2 shades from the Viseart palette, Dark Matter, and using the 2 orange shades, and then now taking the Morphe with that shade, I'm buffing out the shade underneath. And then again, just blending out the edges. Don't want any harsh lines, want to make sure that it's all blown out under the eye. I'm taking the clean fluffy brush and just once again going over any edges to avoid any harsh lines. I'm taking this Ardency and Modster liner. It's in the shade Cream, and I'm applying that to my waterline. Now taking the Kat Von D Trooper liquid eyeliner, I am winging out the liner. Now I'm going to take this e.l.f. palette, the blush palette, peachy shade, and I'm applying that to my face as a blush. Then taking that lightest shade on the palette, it's the most shimmery one. It's really, really pretty. I'm adding that to the inner corner of my eyes to brighten up my eye. Now I'm taking this this lip liner from NYX Cosmetics, and I think it's in the shade Nude Truffle, and I'm lining my lips. And then to finish this look, I am taking the Jouer shade Penny. I felt that this would definitely tie the look all together with that orange that I applied underneath the eyes. It's such a beautiful shade. Like, I really, really love this color. It is again, it's called Penny, and it is like a bronzy metallic shade. I love it. After this, all I did was added some texture and waves to my hair, and that completes this look. I really hope that you enjoyed. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will see you next time. Bye.